this is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and a review. What I'm looking at today is the first episode of Showtime's Penny Dreadful City of Angels, which was graciously by Showtime put on YouTube. When I did a reaction video to the trailer for this series, I noticed that it had nothing in common with the original series. And that kind of bothered me because, as I said then, what's the point of putting the name Penny Dreadful on a series that has nothing to do with the actual series? So that was a little confusing, but having seen the first episode, I think I understand what they're going for. It seems that what they're doing is more in line with an anthology series like American Horror Story or The Terror. Let's assume that there will be another season of Penny Dreadful. What will likely happen is that each following season will be different. It will tackle different subject matters, but be linked by the Penny Dreadful name. I don't think that's a great idea, frankly, but that seems to be what they're going for. And so this series has nothing to do with the original series. That being said, it's pretty interesting because it has John Logan, who created and wrote the first series, writing this new series. So that's pretty good. And it's interesting. It takes the action from Europe and moves it to the United States. I want to say 3 or 4 years, maybe more, maybe less, before World War II, which ran from 1939 to 1945. And there is so much information given in this first episode. It's rich with information. For instance, you see a conflict brewing between the Mexicans, which work the fields and other lower paying jobs, and the white people that live in the city of Los Angeles, as well as conflicts within each group. There are these supernatural presences, I assume from Mexican mythology, and one is, I would say, is neither good nor bad. It's almost a person embodying the concept of the Howl, in the sense that she welcomes the dead, she gives them succor, but only upon dying. And there's this other supernatural element, which is more chaotic, which is more violent, which is more what we traditionally call as evil. And what she's trying to do is create chaos. And the most interesting thing about this entity is that it's not, at least so far, it's not overtly violent, in the sense that what she does is bring out the worst instincts in people. So she makes you the author of your own destruction, based upon the needs and desires that you already have. She doesn't force you to do anything. She just hints and whispers and cajoles you into doing her bidding, which typically is aimed to create chaos and death and destruction. So the Los Angeles that we're talking about in this time is like many time periods, really. It seems peaceful on the face of it, but when you look deeper into it, you see it begin to fragment. You see hints of violence welling up, and they grow even greater as the episode proceeds. During this episode, there are lots of messages telling you that it's been edited and to subscribe to Showtime to see the full version. Now, what that means, I'm not entirely sure, because while there were scenes with certain aspects blurred out, like let's say body parts, I don't know if that was because there was nudity or if that was because of violence. I'm not entirely sure, but it's nothing that warrants you seeing it again. I should mention that I don't recall a lot of cursing in this episode. There may have been 1 or 2, but certainly something that is destined to be on a cable channel would have more. So maybe they excised a little of that. Though, when all is said and done, you get enough of an impression of what it was about. I wouldn't pay for Showtime just to see this. It's not bad, it's actually pretty interesting. And it reminds me somewhat of, I mentioned The Terror earlier, which is essentially an anthology-based series, which tackles historical subjects with a supernatural bent. And this is feeling very much like that. So if that's your thing, I would definitely catch the episode that's on YouTube. But I don't, once again, know if it's enough to have anyone subscribe to see it. It's fine, but it's not great or anything like that. It's hardly remaking the wheel. And I also mentioned before that it's very rich. That works to its detriment in some respects, in that you can tell where this is going. From the first episode, you know where it's going. It's a question more of how it gets there and what people do to bring it there. But where it's going is fairly apparent. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. For me, it's not great. I do like to be kept guessing. I don't like to be able to tell you from the first episode exactly where something is going. But I'm pretty sure I can tell you that. I'm not, but I'm pretty sure I could. So if you haven't seen Penny Dreadful, City of Angels, the first episode is on YouTube, and it's worth catching. It's pretty entertaining. The historical aspects are interesting, and you decide yourself if it's worth subscribing to Showtime for. I don't think so. Your mileage may vary. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. If you like this video, please consider a like or even subscribing to my channel. Peace.